find out how these guys got started, some of the challenges that they face being men. And tips, of course, for other cosplayers. We'll ask them these questions, and then we'll open up for Q&A. So let me go ahead and introduce our panelists, starting with Harley's Joker, Anthony Masiano. A.k.a. Monkey of Steel. Steve Messner from Solo Robo Inc. Dave Turner, and I'm eclipsing our Riddler, Mr. Kelly Del Campbell. Don't shout.
Don't fall off the
Yeah. All right. Dun, dun, dun. So, let's start with Joker, and ask how and when did you start cosplaying?
Well, I have a much more powerful microphone than you do. That or I have a better microphone technique.
You're just much closer than I was.
What are you talking about?
Let's keep it clean.
I'm whispering so they can't hear me. This is between you and me.
Bring it.
So, yeah, I got into it just kind of on accident, really. It's not a thing I do as much as, I guess, one who would do it more. Wow, that's a phrase and a half. I said nothing just now, isn't that great? I had a film, and it didn't do very well. It was a passion project of my own. I got it out to some festivals, but I was kind of disappointed with how it was received. And so I was just depressed. And if you're depressed and a really compulsively creative person, that's not a healthy combo. Bad things tend to happen. So I needed to find an art project to work on. So I started working on a costume, a Joker costume design, just for Halloween. And then Halloween came and went, and it was like a year. And I was like, well, now I'm done with it, because I just kept working on it. And I decided to wear it to San Diego Comic-Con in 2012, because I lived in San Diego at the time, and just thought it would be fun. And then the internet kind of liked it a lot, and then I was asked to wear it again, so I have.
I've dressed up for Halloween my entire life. I answered this yesterday. I literally, when I was in college, like my sophomore year of college, I would go home still to go trick-or-treating with my friends. Because I'm 6'4", so I've been getting the year too old for this since I was 12. So it made no difference to me. And in 2007, I moved to San Diego. I made a Spartan costume from the movie 300, like half on a bet, half on a dare for Halloween. And then I was like, oh hey, I'm in San Diego, I can go to this Comic-Con thing I've always wanted to try. 300 was technically a comic first. I'll convince my roommate to do it too, so I'm not just some dude in my underwear. Did that, had a great time, and I was like, oh, this is really awesome. I could do this every year. And somewhere along the way, started doing more conventions. I blame my girlfriend Kit for that, who I met in 2009 in costume at Comic-Con, and she got me to go to other cons in Los Angeles, and now we do this all over the place. And yeah, that's it. It's really this. There goes the mic. That's it.
I've been dressing up all my life. Literally, if you look at my Facebook, you can see me as Superman, a Ghostbuster, Snow White, Ariel, and I'm dead serious about this. But I accidentally got pulled into the convention scene because my sister-in-law asked me half-heartedly if I wanted to go to Dragon Con. And, well, if you've ever been to Dragon Con, that probably shouldn't be a teenager's first con. I was a little overwhelmed, but it prepared me for other cons that I would go to in the future. It was a complete accident. I started dressing up and I thought it was a lot of fun, so I kept going and kept extending my stay at the convention. And after a week and a half after the convention actually was over, they asked me to leave. Thank you to whoever giggled at that. I appreciate that. But I just found it to be a lot of fun, and I kept doing it, and somebody said I was good at it, so I tried to get better. And then people started asking me if I wanted to come out to different conventions, one of them being Big Wow. And I've had a blast doing it. I've been costuming, I guess, since I was 6, but doing it at conventions since I was 16. So that's everything from me. Dave?
My first costume, I don't know if you guys have walked the floor or not, but Mike over at BMF Productions, he does some pretty cool prop work. He used to do Batman a lot back when Keaton Batman, all the way through when Schumacher started doing them. So I actually feel bad saying that my first costume was Robin Redbird from Batman and Robin. So yeah, it's rough. Thank you, all you guys. So
Shiny Superboy.
oh, okay. So yeah, we're on the same. No, but I've always, it's something I always wanted to do. I never really had the time or resources to make a lot of my own stuff until recently. So he's helped me out a lot, which was cool. My first really big one was San Diego Comic-Con 2011. I did Rocketeer, which that's one that I've been kind of known for, well, semi-known for. And then this one that I have on is my latest one. I really enjoy taking the stuff that I like and mashing it up together. So this is Boba Fett mixed with Ezio from Assassin's Creed. Boba Fettio. So yeah, so that's kind of how I got started. I love doing it, been doing it ever since, and yeah, that's all from me.
Hey guys. Okay. Cosplay, what a phenomenon. I've been dressing up since I was a child. Underoos, that's where it all began. But as you get to adult, this type of entertainment is viewed very juvenile. And I was in theater at the time, and the convention thing was very new. Star Wars kind of galvanized me into making costumes for a certain convention in Dallas, Texas. Heroes were there, basically. Peter Mayhew, Jeremy Bullock, the guy that played Lobot, Bib Fortuna, the one guy played Wampa. All these celebrities were there, and I'm like, I need to meet these guys. And then I found out the lady that made the costumes, or the motley crew of the bounty hunters, was going to be there. Huge fan of the bounty hunters. Who is not a fan of Bosk, the lizard in the yellow bodysuit? Really? Anyway, so at the time I was with a young lady, very sharp young lady, and I wanted to do a theme. Looking at the bounty hunter lineup, I noticed they had a duo couple of Forlom and Zuckuss. Of course, you gotta know who that guy, that couple is. It's the insects, kind of like Forlom was the C-3PO body with the insectozoid head, and Zuckuss had a similar head with a sandy robe. Anyway, made those two costumes in under a month for this event. Made it, went to the event, everybody went bananas. It was, I couldn't see, couldn't hear, it was painful, but so worth it. Got a picture with all my heroes, put it on the wall in my theater department room, looked at it, the bug bit me, literally. So, another convention came around, and it was BatCon, another Dallas, Texas event, and one of my all-time favorite heroes, Frank Gorshin, was going to be there. Met Frank, talked to him about his career, talked to him about the Riddler, and that kind of set me on the road to cosplaying. I've been cosplaying since 1995, and I've been to I've been all around the United States at a bunch of conventions, and I like to keep my characters very eclectic, very eccentric, a lot of energy, and that kind of got me into studying textiles and fabrics and understanding body language. And I also went to clown school. That kind of helped me out too. Thank you. So, you know, I rode that wave. I saw conventions grow into the monsters that they are of today. and this institution that has now become cosplay. This is massive now, guys. This is huge, and it's a wonderful thing to be. It's a huge family, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, are there anything that you guys had to overcome personally, obstacles that got in the way of cosplaying?
I'm short.
You're short.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You're not that short. How short or how tall are you?
See how short are you?
That's how you put it. I'm shorter than you are.
I'm like 5'10".
That's 5'10" is not short. That's average male height. Where? In the world. And America.
Listen, if I'm going, that's like 7'2".
No, they're tall. But how tall are you? Because you're what, like 5'8", 5'9"? He's 5'8". I'm 5'8". You're taller than us.
Everybody I meet at the convention, I have to do this to.
That's because they're in high heels. And high heels.
There it is.
There you go. You want what you don't have. One says, oh, you can
Even
play
this
too
has got
tall,
a couple
one's
inches
too
on it.
slow. Okay.
I'm too slow.
Or I mean, too small. My brain is my obstacle. How about you, Dave?
Well, honestly, the biggest problem that I have faced, and you guys probably have gone through this too, it's just, you know, I miss being able to go out in public without being recognized by so many people.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to eat a meal, you know, like just in
You're
peace.
talking about this the other day. It's really hard. Dude,
No, no, I was just joking about that. Nobody knows.
We're not there.
No, honestly, personally, my whole thing is like, I would love to wear like stuff like this. It's so nice and tight and makes stuff look good, that looks good. You know, same with this guy over here. So, you know, I'm up and down with like weight issues and stuff like that. So that's why I'm wearing like all this armor. No, but seriously though, yeah, that's probably my biggest thing that I feel like I still am trying to overcome, because I would love to, you know, like the one thing I really want to do, like my favorite character of all time is Superman. So, you know, I would love to be able to rock like an awesome Superman suit. So that's what I'm still working towards. But other than that, everything's been, you know, pretty smooth sailing, straightforward, not a lot of issues with anything.
First, a shameless plug. Jonathan and I are actually going to talk about fitness in like 45 minutes right after this.
Dave, you better stay.
Yeah.
So stick around. When I started, I was incredibly shy. I've always been a really, really shy. I'm an only child. I grew up in a cul-de-sac, but so I'm.
Two other guys named Ed.
No, not like the cartoon show. So I was really, really shy, and like I said, I had this costume. It was like partly a dare, but like Halloween, it's one thing to go out wearing literally like boxer briefs and some cardboard. It's a little different to like go to San Diego Comic-Con. Like, there's a lot of costumes, but there's not necessarily a lot of basically naked people. I also did not know what a dance belt was at that point, so I just wore 2 pairs of underwear.
For anybody that should know it and doesn't yet, you guys want to quickly say what it is?
Yeah. A dance belt is
It makes you family friendly.
yeah. If you're a guy, you need to wear something, and a dance belt is really the way to go. You can get them, they're like briefs, or you can get what I wear now, which is, I wear a thong. I'm wearing one now.
I'm standing up in the modern dance club.
So, safe, also, you know.
Whoa.
But it makes this look a lot better. And occasionally, you might make $1 on keeping this one.
Yeah, just.
When you experience the phenomenon that can only be described as awkward man cleaning.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that you would describe that?
Weird things happen if you're a guy.
Always wear it.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing a suit.
Yeah, if you're wearing spandex or tights, yeah, wear a dance belt. In my Spartan costume, I now have what we refer to as a Sparto, Spartan Speedo. I don't wear underwear anymore. It's leather briefs. The only thing that fits under it is a dance belt, because it's that small. So I was really, really shy when I started, and my very first day at Comic-Con, I got interviewed by Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, or more accurately, interviewed by Junk for in front of a crowd of like 50 people on the floor. And it ended up on TV. So that was my breaking it, like getting broken into Comic-Con. I was like, okay, if I can do this, I guess I can deal with a lot of other stuff. So since then, it's obviously we're up here now. We're not all shy people. I'm not as bad anymore. I'll still be awkward, but.
Yeah, on the subject of the dance belt, I know firsthand. I was at a con in LA, and awesome Superman cosplayers, older gentleman, looks strikingly like Christopher Reeve. So I was, that's like my hero. So I was like, oh my God, it's Christopher Reeve, Superman. And so I walked over there, and he was taking a picture with a little kid, unfortunately. And yeah, his, no dance belt, nothing.
Spandex shows absolutely everything.
Let's just say the whole,
People will know what religion you are.
Yeah. Needless to say, his knowledge crystal was showing. So. But yeah, so dance belt, good if you're doing spandex.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way too. My second costume was a spandex bodysuit, and I asked the girl, like, I bought it at a dance store. I was like, what do I wear under this? She just kind of looked at me confused, like, nothing? So I took her advice, because she should know what she was doing, and found out later that was not the right decision.
There you go, different tracts of land. Moving on to the next question, Steve. Oh no, Tony.
Well, I was just going to be quick, just because you asked like any challenges kind of faced. It's not really a challenge because I didn't care too much, but something I did notice is that because the photos of me from San Diego Comic-Con 2012, they spread so quickly, so far, I got a really kind of instantaneous like, and boom, you have...
To create a page to direct traffic away from your personal one, and it has 20,000 and growing people like in a couple days. It was nuts. And so because of that, I died. Yeah. So because of that, when
You killed it.
because I was depicting a character like this, who is so iconic and everyone has this image of in their mind, I got, not anymore like at first, I got a lot of hate mail, which is so weird because I'm like, why? I don't know you, I don't get it. But just nitpicking every little thing, just attacking and teasing it because I so instantly just was like, and boom, here's this person all over in every website, there's photos from this convention of this person. And so there's a lot of hate from that, which is really weird. But it went away, and yeah, I guess if there's supposed to be a moral of the story, it's just, be tenacious, don't listen to naysayers, because it's stupid.
We're doing this for fun.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's a fun hobby.
Yeah.
Why ruin it for somebody? People spend too much, there's too many people in the world who spend too much time trying to ruin other people from having a good time.
And seriously, if it's another cosplayer, just look at him and say, look, do you want to sit down and have a tea party? Because we're both dressed up. We may as well do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an adult dressed as a comic book character.
I'm like, it was a fun weekend in San Diego.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that is a good question. I mean, as a cosplayer, I know that's something you have to do, either grow thick skin or stop paying attention. Have you guys all had experiences where you've had to tune out negativity?
Probably my most, it's back, it's gonna go away again. I did this yesterday like 5 times. It's a huge tease.
Well, hurry up and use it.
The thing I'm probably most well known for is Power Guy. We did this group called the Gender Bend Justice League, and it was a bunch of the girls decided they wanted to do the Justice League, but do it as men, and not like the sexy, like they didn't want to sexify Superman. Yeah. So my girlfriend Kit Quinn, she was Superman, and also there was Batman, and they're in the full costume, like it's the cape, like the high collar, still in the full cowl, they're completely covered, and so they grabbed a couple of guys to do the women. And they talked me into it. They're like, well, it's basically your Spartan costume, but you're wearing white briefs instead. It's like, plus you'll have all these girls around. I was like, oh, fine, I'll do it. And we did it as a joke. We did it on April Fool's Day, which nobody caught. And the internet kind of latched onto it. And it's my costume is I get boots, gloves, it's literally underwear, or underwear that I stole from a friend's closet, and a cape. And that's all I get to wear. And so, because it's also gender swap, everyone assumed that I was gay. And so I got a lot of that. I got asked at San Diego the next year what it was like to be a gay icon.
Now, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, which, again, I have no problem with this. I find it weird that people think that's an awkward question. Like, what's it feel like when people think you're gay? I'm like, thanks? Like, they think that I don't know, they think I'm pretty? I have no idea.
Now, you know that you can buy underwear.
I tried. I could not find this style in white. It was really,
Try eBay. Just look for the category that's slightly new, like almost new.
see, that just scares me.
Do you need a friend to shop with?
I'll keep that in mind next
He
time.
has underoos.
So that was kind of a big thing that I got a lot of, not as bad as like hate mail, because no one was really mad at me, but I got just thrown into this other category of where people would judge me. Just like, I mean, the girls get judged all the time for different stuff, but I got lumped into this group of things and literally made like a poster child for like the gay community. I was like, great, but you do know that, like, it's great that you guys think that of me, but you should have a gay guy up here, not me. So it was just a little, when it first happened, it was a little weird, but not necessarily awkward.
I love just whoever just walked in. That guy who just walked, just to hear that end of that sentence.
You should have a gay guy here, not me.
And that's all we know of you in this panel.
That's why I walked in.
Sound bites.
Anybody else have an experience they want to talk about?
Oh, the worst.
You want to go first?
No, I already thought.
Heat is the enemy of the cosplayer.
Never cold, but heat.
I get cold a lot.
I'm wearing a bit. No, he's wearing a thong.
And the phone.
Overcoming having to grow thick skin.
Yeah.
Well, when people told me my arms weren't hairy enough for Wolverine.
Wow.
Yeah, right. I've had the same thing. A lot of people hoisted me into a position of almost deic status in the gay community, which, while is neat, you probably should have someone that is actually gay. So thank them for that. But as far as having to grow thick skin, you find people on the convention floor that are just out to troll you. You'll find people on the internet that are just trying to rip people apart to make themselves feel better or make somebody else laugh. And what you have to do is you have to realize that these people are out there and all they want to do is, bring someone else down in order to get attention, make themselves feel better, or, generate a laugh. And you just have to shrug it off and keep going. You're doing this not for them, but for fans of the genre, or you're doing it for yourself. And you have to realize that you just can't let other things bug you. You just gotta go have fun.
Yeah, we're all doing this for fun. So just have fun with it, and don't worry about if other people don't like you having fun. It's like our fun doesn't take away from their fun.
I actually got hate mail, speaking of hate mail, over the ending of Captain America versus Master Chief. For those of you who don't know, I'm a part of Batman's Son's Superpower Beatdown. And, thank you. The most recent one I did was Captain America versus Master Chief, and so many Halo fans came out of the woodwork just to send me emails about how much they hated me, how bad, wrong it was that Captain America won. That's a spoiler for those of you who haven't seen it yet. But I just had to tell them, wait, the alternate ending is going to be out soon. And even when they got their alternate ending, they were still very angry.
It's very similar to what you were saying. Like, we're nerds. We're a picky bunch. Like, we get very we like our things our way.
We're tenacious.
Yeah, everyone, well, because I recently made, not to plug a panel later, but hey.
4 o'clock in Room C, I'll be showing a Batman fan film that I helped produce and co-star in. It's a lot of fun. You should check it out. There's going to be a blooper reel shown afterwards. You're going to enjoy that.
But with making that, one of the things that I told, because I didn't write or direct it, but I did help produce it. One of the things that I told a lot of the cast, because I had already experienced some of this with the cosplay thing, I told them, I was like, listen, you are portraying characters
that people love, and you will never be the image that they have in their mind, because everyone has loved these characters since they were kids, and they have formed this image in their mind of what this character is, and you will never be that. There's going to be people who love what you've done with it, but you will never be exactly that, because everyone, you personalize it. You make these characters your own. You read them, you interpret them a certain way, you hear a voice in your head that's from text, it's no particular thing. Whatever it is, you're never going to make everyone happy, because yeah, people treasure these characters. In a lot of fans' eyes, it's almost like you're portraying Hamlet and they're Laurence Olivier. And they will come at you with everything like, well, you should have done this, and you should have done this, and this character should have been portrayed this way, you should have used this inflection, and that. Why? You do it! People love characters like this, and so you're gonna get heat because you'll never be that person's version of it.
That's why you just do it. Yeah, we
Just have fun.
Yeah, we all do it for us. I mean, like Dave makes up characters.
All right. Well, how about the flip side? How about the positivity? How about a moment where you guys had that was shining with someone who was maybe a young fan?
Kids.
Well, talking about being the perfect iconic hero, to absolutely everyone, I was dressed as Superman, and this was at MegaCon, by the way. I'm walking to the convention center, and anyway, I'm walking to the convention center, and this family stops me, and they ask their daughter, who is in a stroller, if she wants to take a picture with Superman. Well, this little girl is probably 6 or 7, and I don't say anything because, well, it's not my place to ask why this 7-year-old's in a stroller. But as soon as she stands up, I realize that she has a bunch of braces on her legs. She has MS. And as soon as she stands up, she starts to fall. Well, me just standing there, I scooped her up, and I picked her up in my arms, and her family couldn't believe it. They just started tearing up and crying. They took the picture, they were smiling and everything. I set her down, I kissed her on her forehead, and I thanked her for the picture. And the family walked away, and the father stuck behind, he shook my hand. He said, "You really did make me believe that you are Superman." So,
If you're looking for a date tonight, you've got like 40 of them. They all just did this.
I pushed him down the stairs once. I don't know if that's okay. Who's gonna follow that
Well, tell
story?
me, did the kids enjoy it?
I hope not.
Yeah, something else?
I was dressed as Captain Marvel Jr. at a hospital once, years ago. Don't do Junior anymore. Anyway, so, you're in the whole outfit, and of course, cape means flight. Kids see that, and that registers something into their mind of what it represents. And so you're kneeling down, you're shaking hands, you're high-fiving, smiles, bright eyes, the kids are loving it. So it's my time to go. So as I'm turning around,
Wow.
really, okay. Barely. You guys can hear me okay? Okay. And I'm turning around and I'm making my way out the door. And this little girl who's in a wheelchair starts, and she really didn't talk. She started moving her wheelchair and started rolling her wheelchair. And the lady that was pushing her wheelchair forgot what she was doing, and she was pushing toward me. And as she came toward me, she bumped into me, and I turned around, and she grabbed my hand, and she goes, "Please don't fly away." Aww. Guys, I lost it. Capes are great for... Awesome.
Well, getting back to the subject of gender, I know Steve mentioned that he cosplays with his girlfriend Kit. Is anybody else here cosplaying with their significant others? What's that like?
Yes.
It's fun. We have a lot of fun with it because we we're dressed up as characters, and the way we portray them at conventions for the sake of, fun photos is very fun, very goofy, very animated. And that's been a lot of fun. And it's also been a lot of fun, because I have a background as a comedic performer. I've done mime stuff, and I'm an actor and that sort of thing. But Alyssa is an artist. She's, that's her passion, and she's more introverted. And so it's been really great for her, because I've been able to, and she's been able to kind of bring her out of her shell and start being really goofy and animated and have a lot of fun playing with people. So, I mean, for the most part, it's great. It's stressful because when you're getting ready and the time is crunching and you're like, you help this, no, you help with this, no, this, that, and it's kind of hectic. But then once we get to the, wherever we're going and get to be goofy with people, it's a blast. I enjoy it.
Yeah, Kit and I are the opposite. She went to USC, so she's an actor. I'm an artist. I have a philosophy degree. But we met in costume at Comic-Con in 2009, I was dressed as the Monarch from the show The Venture Brothers, and she was Dr. Mrs. And we both just that year made those costumes on our own. After the panel, she saw me in the hallway leaving, so I thought, we're done, I'm going home, I'm tired. I didn't let people take pictures after panels. And she ran after me, and her mom took the picture of the moment we met, and then she kept after me until she, nailed me down. And got to keep me. And so we've been doing costumes together basically since then. We started with that, but it's just like you're saying, there's, anyone who costumes, there are moments of profound stress where you hate everything about life. God knows why you're doing this to yourself, but you decide to do it, and you're going to do it, and it's awful, but you're still in costume for whatever reason. And when you have a couple doing that, I basically decide, if we can get through costumes together, we can get through just about anything. Because you see each other at your best and at your worst in all, 15 minutes. But it's been great. So we had those costumes, we still do those. I think we now have, 1 or 2 other costumes we do together, because she has, 3 dozen costumes, and I have, I think, 6. So I've had to step my game to do stuff together, but we've never really gone out of our way to do couples costumes. We just go to conventions together, and sometimes we match and sometimes we don't, and we both go and have a good time.
Is this gonna work? Okay, let's hope. I actually met Jessica at MegaCon, and she was a cosplayer long before we met, but I was dressed as the Superman Blue for when Superman lost all his powers and became electric, and was I red? I was red, I think. It's hard to remember. Anyway, I leaned over to my friend and I pointed at Jessica and I said, "That's the best damn Harley Quinn I've ever seen." Well, the fates saw it fit to have her look in the direction of me when I was pointing. And she bounced over and introduced herself. And no, quite literally, she bounced over. Being dressed as Harley Quinn, she's very animated. She bounced over and introduced herself, and she bounced off afterwards. And I thought, oh, that was fun. She's cute. But yeah, she's very bouncy. But afterwards, I got to talk to her again, and we actually met up at the after party for MegaCon, and we really hit it off. Ended up spending the entire weekend with her, and I fell in love. I just knew that was it for me. After dating her for about a year, we got married, and we continued to cosplay. We actually did a crossplay of Joker and Harley Quinn, where I was a 8-foot tall Harley Quinn. For once in my life, I wasn't short, which is awesome.
And you're not short now. He's 5'10", and he's saying that's not short. That's just there.
What height is a normal hero? Like 6'2"?
Okay, a normal hero. You're asking about comic book hero. In the comic book world,
But
they're all
comic
dwarfs.
book hero.
Because they're all 6'5". It's stupid.
It's really nice and convenient.
Wolverine's 5'4". You're way too tall for Wolverine.
Even if you were 6'5", that's tall.
Remember when we had to talk about growing thick skin? Jessica and I still cosplay together. It's not always planned out, but it's, oh hey, these two characters are actually in a relationship together. I guess we should hang out with one another at a con. But it's a lot of fun when we do. We get to be goofy, we get to run around, and we get to just have wild antics and stories that we'll be able to laugh about for the rest of our lives. So if you have someone that you cosplay with, keep cosplaying with them. There's a good chance that they love you.
It's time number 2, he's got 40 people in the room.
Yeah, you can't lose this. I mean, even when you tell people you're married, you have 40 dates actually.
Charming.
No, I've been married for 10 years. Yeah.
Pretty lady in the back.
A jungly clad lady in the back goes by the name of Doom Kitty. You might have heard of her. No, it's we've been going to cons for about 9 years together, and she, you know, if you were here, lucky enough to be here yesterday for the So They Say You Shouldn't Cosplay panel that she was in, another shameless plug. She didn't have great self-esteem, but the cosplaying definitely improved it. So the first costume we actually did together was, I was Rocketeer and then she was Betty Page as the Rocketeer, which was really cool. That was a lot of fun. We've done Fred and Velma from Scooby-Doo. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else we've done. I think so, yeah.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, yeah. That was at Sacramento just a few months back. I have a terrible memory. But yeah, so we have a few more planned for the upcoming months. I know that we want to do a Fred and Betty from the Flintstones. That'll be cool. But yeah, so it's like Jonathan said, if you have somebody that you're cosplaying with, it makes the cons a lot more fun, even though there are those stressful getting dressed moments. I think the way Anthony described it, no, you help me, and you help, no, I need help with this. That was my morning this morning, actually.
You think that time would be saved by both? It's like
It's worse.
You have your body paint on my face.
So yeah, that's my story.
I'm single. I have my best friend that I cosplay with.
Zatanna, he's the creeper. That's nice. Well, I would love to hear about a male cosplayer's costume malfunction. You guys have any costume malfunction stories?
This goes back to the dance belt. If you don't wear a dance belt, it's going to stay on the internet for the rest of the internet's life. And as we all know, the internet's not going anywhere. And at least for a while. Prince declared it was dead. Yeah. Oh gosh. I've had seams rip in the crotch because I was doing a sidekick as Goku. And wasn't wearing anything under it. They did. The Eternal Dragon just kind of... let's see. I've had my cape as Superman untie itself and fall off, and I had to run to the bathroom and have someone help me with that. Captain America just walked in while I was filming, or got Captain America back, I should say. While I was filming, I misstepped and planted the shield in the dirt as I was falling. And, well, it's a $250 shield, but when you have a small budget, that's a big cost. Well, I cracked it in half. So there's a great costume malfunction. We actually had to grab another one. Let's see. Any other costume malfunctions? I've broken my foot because I was wearing a wedge. Let's see.
trying to be tall again.
Trying to be tall.
I'm so supportive of your height.
Follow me around.
Shorter than you, so.
My modern costume is kind of a nightmare to wear. I literally, when I first did, I glued this pipe cleaners covered in crepe hair to my eyebrows. My entire cowl, because it's all spandex, it's all part of the suit. It used to be the same thing, but now it's separate. The crown weighs enough that I have to glue the entire hood to my face. So everything is glued to everything. The armor, I can't put my arms down or it puts my entire arm to sleep. I have permanent nerve damage in both my thumbs from my first set of bracers. The bracer, like everybody in comics has these bracers that wrap right around your forearm, like arms or tubes. They're not cylindrical, they're this weird oval shape, and they move when you move. So like if you have hands and you want to use them, they don't fit. And mine didn't fit, and they sat on my thumbs and put my thumbs to sleep the first year I wore it. Yeah.
They're not up here, they're behind the list.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a smarter way to do it. If you leave it like open, mine closed all the way up. So yeah, I literally like the inside of my thumbs only have about 60% of feeling. What's this, 5 years later? 2 years ago at Comic-Con, it took like 3 hours to get my cowl and makeup and stuff to stick on because I kept sweating it off as this kid was trying to glue it on me. And we were doing this outside Hall H at Comic-Con. Because we were trying to get to the Venture Brothers panel, which we missed because I couldn't get my costume on. I only ever got that boot halfway on, so I spent the entire day with one foot halfway into a cowboy boot and the other one in it. I've done some yeah.
Why? That's awful.
I couldn't get the boots all the way on. I wasn't gonna go home. So they're thigh-high boots. What was I gonna do? So I've done some very stupid things. Don't do those. I've never had anything like malfunction. I think in Spartan, the very first time I wore it to Dragon Con, it's gotten close. I had a dance belt, so there's a couple of pictures that don't look like they're safe. Everything's still where it's supposed to be. It's just really close. If you do the sort of things like Jonathan and I do for fitness, where like you don't eat any carbs for 2 weeks and you don't drink water for 2 days, and then you drink like
2 days?
Yeah, sips.
Hydration cycle are you on?
This was the first time I did drank this bad, and then I drank a lot. So alcohol hits you really hard and fast, and that can be dangerous for photos later. That's the best I've got. I never let loose on the internet.
I just, the only thing that happened is kind of traumatizing is this guy here, that's my head. I sculpted it. It's me on a stick because I'm a narcissist. And no, it's just the right way to do it. And the thing is though, when I did this, I didn't know about like casting and molding and all that fancy stuff that, protects an original. And so this is the original. This is made out of clay. This is super sculpey and it was baked. And with that, it's very brittle. And so like right now, if I dropped it, if I just let it drop, it just shattered. Well, last year here, it was propped against a wall for a second to take a photo, because I don't know why I did that, and then just, it went. And so this whole little bit here is a bunch of pieces that were all just very carefully, like a jigsaw puzzle, like I dinosaur boned it. I was like a paleontologist, like, okay, this piece connects with this piece, and eventually this reshapes the thing. So that was traumatizing. I was upset, because again, one of a kind. But that's it. My suit has stayed suity.
Well, the best advice that I can give, which I don't follow, is, and you guys have probably done this before, but like, it's always good to give your suits a test run. Like, not just like throw them on and go to a con, because
I have never done that.
So, I've done, I have if you've been on my Facebook page, you'll see that there are photos of me in a pretty cool Batman suit, which I never wear to cons because I never test for it, and on a photo shoot, on a hot day, one of the arms, the base of it was Pepakura, and I was wearing a wetsuit as my undersuit for this Batman armor, and when I started sweating, the arm just literally fell off of me while I was shooting. So, always good to like test out your stuff before you wear it to a con. I'm horrible at doing that because we're usually running on like a really tight time schedule. Are we okay on time?
Yeah, like
10 minutes? Okay, which is the Q&A part. So I'm going to wrap that story up. Just test your stuff out before you wear it.
And that's why I would argue with you though, really quick. I would say I always take a different stance, which is, I think one of the beauties of the art form of cosplay and the fun of it is that there is no real deadline. The deadline is up to you, because if it's not done by this convention, it doesn't matter. Just keep working on it until you're happy with it for the next one.
Also good advice that I don't follow.
If you don't watch something, if you don't have to be a perfectionist, I'd say go for it.
How many of you have left a costume piece at home? Okay. There's a motto, most everybody, there's a motto that I stick to when costuming. Is it screwed? Let's body paint it. So if you do that, you make it your own. You make it fun. When I was dressed as Link for MegaCon 2 years ago, I completely forgot my green tunic. The entire thing that identifies me as Link. So what do? I paint 3 hearts across my chest. I have the Triforce in a tribal tattoo on my arm, and everybody loved it. And nobody knew that there was even supposed to be a green tunic. I was shirtless.
Not all of us can do things like that.
But you know what? You work with what you got.
Yeah.
Work with what you got.
I'm furry, I could shave 3 hearts, I guess.
Yeah, do we have any questions?
Questions before we ask the last ones? See her?
Do you guys ever feel limited with the characters that you're able to choose for your cosplays?
I'm 6'4" and blonde. I can be anybody. So I'm incredibly lucky. Like my biggest problem with my body type is that I'm the tallest whatever I do. So I don't have any, like I can't complain.
Instagram group shots don't do well for you, do they?
Like, yeah, okay. My second biggest problem is group photos. I tend to get cropped off at the eyes. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm short and skinny, and no male character in all of comic bookdom is. So I'm a little, I know I shouldn't be, and I get it, but I'm a little self-conscious about, like, because there are other characters I like to do, but they're all tall and muscular, as every male comic book character in all of ever is.
What about the Flash?
He's still got some, I don't.
It depends on who draws them.
Yeah.
It's really fun. That's a hero.
My turn? Your turn? Go for it.
Perfect the way you are. My best advice is don't feel limited to anything. Do any character that you want to do. Well, unless like, you know, con permitting, like if it's like Deja Thoris, try to like, don't go naked because you get kicked out. But unless it's Dragon Con.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't feel limited by anything. What I was talking about earlier, like I would love to do like the spandex suits, but if I want to do Superman, worst case scenario, I'll make it armored. So yeah, do anything you want to do.
So many of the ladies who cosplay have had issues with people being not so friendly and respectful of personal space.
I had that issue earlier today.
Like, so Valerie and her beautiful Wonder Woman, I'm sure you've had your share of people trying to wrap an arm around places they shouldn't.
Yeah,
And,
people get grabby.
people seem to assume that it does not happen to the men, but
Not
Steve,
true.
for you, with your
No.
So,
I get pinched.
stories.
My biscuits are out the wind, guys, and I'm targeted. I kid you not. I will get like, what? And I'm like, that guy just did that? I get
Tails. See, you just have to.
Everybody looked at your butt just now. That was weird.
I mean, we don't get it nearly as bad. It would be totally unfair, I think, unrealistic to say we get half as bad as the women do. Because I watch what happens, like now that my girlfriend gets that stuff, I'm like, we don't get people with phones taking ass shots like sneakily.
Yes.
None that you ever see. Have you seen the
I've seen the threads on 4chan about me, and they're hilarious. The gay men,
I've started them all.
See, this is why people think that I'm gay. I mean, it does happen to us as well. Like again, the spandex clad ass for some reason is just people think that they can do what they want with that.
It's not only the backside, but the front side.
Yeah.
Just earlier today, somebody got removed from the convention because they felt it necessary to find out that if it was all me.
Yeah, I've
So
had that
they
happen.
grabbed my junk.
What?
Yeah. And instead of punching them, one of the people that are actually kind of ran over and asked if they wanted that guy ejected. And I said, yeah, I don't know if he's going to do that to somebody else, and I'd rather just go ahead and put a stop to it.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
a man dressed as a gorilla in a Green Lantern suit got ejected today.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. The biggest problem I have is people trying to grab my gun. But I just ask, I tell them, if they just ask, I'd be happy to show it to them. No, everyone's pretty respectful.
Yeah, it happens more like in Spartan or Power Guy.
This is
The more nude you are.
Exactly. The less clothing you're wearing, the more people want to do it. I will freely admit that my first year at Comic-Con, my roommate and I had a great time with all the groping that happened. We were both single, we were in college, and it was pretty great.
Now, there is an opposite end of the spectrum when I'm dressed as Superman, and as the classic Superman, I get a lot of the little old ladies that love to come up to me and take their picture as though they were Lois Lane back when George Reeves was Superman. And they put their arm around mine, and they're like, oh, that's real. And these are people who grew up with men during the World War II era, so that really gives me an ego boost. But they'll grab my arm, then they'll put their arm around me, then it just keeps getting closer.
Yeah, just like guys do.
This 86-year-old woman felt me up, and I'm just like, you know what? Okay, it's yours. You earned this, madam. This wasn't here, this was a drag con.
She drilled rivets when her husband was in war.
With her fists.
Exactly.
Well, long story short, it does happen. Yeah.
Like, not so much when you're with other friends who watch your biscuits.
Yeah. Well, like, I like to, both, this is kind of ties in, with the Spartans at Dragon Con, there's a whole big group of us, and all of those guys, we're like 20 guys, all but 2 of them are taken. Most of, I think, nearly all of them are married. And the women all come up and, want to just do whatever they can. It's like, you're dressed like this. They're like, and that's my wife. So maybe not do that. Gentleman Justice League, it's all the girls, and of course we're up to 5 or 6 guys now, and the girls all assume that we're gay. A lot of men assume we're gay. We're like, actually, no, we're all dating the girls in the league. Like, all of us were, again, all taken by the girls that are here. People make a lot of weird assumptions just because you're wearing something. People do that, and people are going to do that. And it's not necessarily great, but I still think it's weird when people get shocked that it happens. I know if I'm in my underwear, people, I'm not asking for anything, but it's still, I have to expect that certain people who don't understand boundaries are going to cross them.
Because it is, I hate to say the thing that isn't liked to be said, but it's almost mathematical. You can make an equation out of this. The less clothing you wear, the more likely you are to have people not think for a second.
Yeah.
Because in most of your life, as you're growing up, when you see people not in clothing, usually it's in a certain setting where groping does occur. And so seeing people outside of clothing in a setting outside of that personal one, it's hard, the wires cross. I understand why it happens. It doesn't mean it's okay, but it does make sense. The more naked you are, the more it's not going to be.
Yeah, and like happening today, if it bugs you, tell somebody.
Exactly.
And cons are
Tell an adult.
Tell
an adult.
Any more questions?
Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
Have any of you guys ever had to deal with wigs? Because I know when
I hate wigs.
They're so itchy.
when my hair was longer, it, like, even hairspray doesn't hold it.
When I was Goku, I actually dreadlocked my hair and used a, gotta be glue to keep it in place. I was Super Saiyan Goku. And by God, I was not gonna wear a wig. Well, you never want to do that to your hair as an important point of life, because your hair will hate you. And wearing a wig with a costume, it's catch-22. Do you want that costume to be completed by that wig, or do you want to butcher your hair in order to get your hair into the style that you need? Now, if you want your hair blonde and spiked, all the time, that's great. But if you want it, black for a different character, you have to use a wig.
Yeah.
There's no two ways around it. You can't just do a dye job that night and go to a different character. Your hair does not like it.
It's possible. Speaking from experience. Yeah, but you don't really want to. I mean,
you will not enjoy it.
Most of us, we do more than one costume during a con. So I guess up until 2 years ago, I refused to wear a wig. I just dyed my hair whatever color it needed to be. So I've dyed my hair black. I've bleached it blonde a couple of times. I've dyed it red, had it turn purple. And my hair doesn't appreciate any of that. So when I decided to do Superman, this day after, it was going to be the day after I needed that short red buzz cut. I wanted to be Superman the day after that, so I just had to buy a wig. Because there's no way to add 4 inches to my hair and make it black, because I literally just dyed it. So it's just another thing. It's part of the costume. Men's wigs are kind of annoying, but they're not nearly as awful as women's wigs, I think. I've worn women's wigs too. I was Daenerys once. Yeah. Maybe. See? So yeah, I wore Kid's black cat wig, and it was terrible. And people thought I was He-Man George Washington.
By the power of Washington.
Very cool mashup. Well, that's all the time we have for Men of Cosplay. I'd like to thank our panelists. And next up, we have Steve and Jonathan with their fitness panel, but I think that's all for Anthony Masnara, Harley's Joker.
And yes, again, if you would like, at 4 o'clock, go down to room C and watch a screening of an awesome Batman fan film.
Well, Jonathan's going, so 40 of his dates are about to come with him. And there's Dave Turner and Cal Cambray. Thank you very much.
Yep. And most of us, we have tables over in the Cosplay Alley, up against the left wall over here when you go in the convention center. We're going to be hanging out over there, so come see us, talk, take pictures, keep us company so we're not lonely.